I've spent a lot of time waiting for things to feel safer, calmer, more certain before I took action. Waiting for a switch to flip where anxiety disappears and suddenly everything feels okay. But I've realized that moment isn't coming. And if I continue to sit here and wait for it, I'll still be in the same place 10 years from now. So I'm choosing to live my life and pursue my dreams, even while anxiety is still here. Hi, I'm Sarah. And for a long time, I thought the change that I wanted to see in my life would just naturally happen to me. But I'm realizing now, if I want my life to change, I have to change. The painting you're about to see me work on wasn't created today, but it represents something I'm learning in real time. It's about becoming, about acting as if the life I want is already unfolding. And it's about me taking the proper actions to support that life. I've lived with anxiety for many years, sometimes very mild, and sometimes debilitating. But in the past few years, the hardest part has been catastrophic thinking. That pattern where your mind jumps to the worst possible outcome over and over again, and your mind torments you with the endless what ifs, playing out scenarios in your head as if they're already happening. It's exhausting. And when it happens long enough, it can make everything feel meaningless. Like, why even try if something bad is just going to happen? I know that's not a rational way of thinking. I know it's illogical. But for some reason, my brain wants to think that way anyway. It's paralyzing. And that's where I've been stuck. I started creating this piece after a journaling session where I decided to stop waiting for certainty and start practicing trust instead. I decided that what I would practice to help me move forward is to act as if. I would just act as if I had certainty that everything would work out in the best possible way. As I worked on this piece, I kept returning to that idea. If we act as if our life is already how we want it, we can start to shift how we feel. And like Louise Hay says, the way you think determines the way you feel, and the way you feel determines the way you act. So I'm trying to improve my thinking so I can improve how I feel, so I can take better actions. And those actions will improve how I think, and this will create a cycle that reinforces my new beliefs. Acting as if I'm certain I will be a successful artist helps me feel like my art matters, and that makes me show up consistently to create. Acting as if everything will work out for the best instead of constantly bracing for the worst helps me feel safer. And when I feel safe, I actually want to pursue my goals. Acting as if I'm confident and capable helps me begin to behave like a confident person. And that's how confidence is built, not by waiting for it to appear, but by taking small actions that prove to yourself that you can feel fear and do it anyway. We don't act because we feel confident. We feel confident because we act. If you want courage, you don't wait for fear to disappear. You act as if you're already brave. So here I am, acting brave. This doesn't mean I'm pretending everything is fine. It means I'm choosing behaviors that align with the life that I want, even when anxiety is still present. Years ago, I lived by the mantra, fake it till you make it. But I hate that now because I did it so much that I became a sort of fake version of myself. I was always pretending to be okay, pretending to be normal because that's what I wished more than anything I was. Then eventually, no one did know who I really was, including me. Today, I would never recommend faking anything. I'd say honor how you feel and try to work with it. Seek out the tools that help you feel a little bit lighter and keep expanding on that. The harder you try to force it out of existence, the harder it will fight to stay. I'd say allow your feelings and try to figure out what they're trying to tell you. At least that's what I'm trying to do. The tools helping me most right now are journaling, creating art, and yoga nidra meditation. I'm trying to let go of pretending so I can become who I really am underneath everything. And when the catastrophic thinking shows up, I call it out. I tell my brain, I know what you're doing. I know you're trying to protect me, but rehearsing the worst case scenario isn't helping me live my life. So I choose a different thought. I think of the best possible scenario, and I try to focus on that. I assume that's how a normal person's mind works automatically, and I want to practice building that. I want it to become automatic for me too. I'm trying to rewire my brain so it stops taking that familiar and dreadful path. I want to build new pathways lined with beautiful flowers. In my life, I've experienced moments of real healing. Years ago, I overcame depression through a mindset shift, and that showed me change is possible. If I healed my depression, I can heal my anxiety too. But I know I have to do it through action. I believe the painful parts of my life shaped me for a reason. I feel like they were given to me as a challenge and meant to be transformed into something beautiful and something meaningful. I'm hoping that my art, my story, and my commitment to growth can help you. And honestly, I think helping others will help me too. In addition to acting as if, there are other things I'm putting into my life to help bridge the gap between who I am now and who I want to become. I have been identifying my priorities and then building small systems to support them. For example, one of my priorities is becoming more organized. So I made a schedule for myself to go through rooms, closets, and drawers and get rid of what I don't need. Not the whole house in a weekend, just one small area at a time. Because I've realized something. When I'm clear about what I'm working toward, and I have a plan for how to get there, my anxiety doesn't get to run the show as much. Instead of obsessing over the big goal, I'm focused on the system. I just follow the directions I already laid out for myself. I learned this idea from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, It's about how tiny, consistent habits lead to real changes over time. And that's exactly what I need. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and suddenly be a successful artist, but I can start doing the things a successful artist would do. And over time, that compounds. The same with my house. It might take months, but if I clear one drawer this week, that's proof I'm still working on my goal. The one idea from the book that I love the most says, when you fall in love with the process instead of the product, you don't have to wait to give yourself permission to be happy. I love this because this was me for a long time. The idea of I'll be happy when I'm successful, I'll be happy when my anxiety is gone. But when we do this, we're saving our happiness for our future self. But we don't have to. The journey gets to be fulfilling too. I'm proud to say I've built a system around my art practice that I actually love. And I'm slowly building that same kind of structure in other areas of my life. Because having a plan, even a small one, makes me feel more stable. And there's another reason I'm doing this. I'm tired of being ruled by fear. I don't want my son to grow up thinking that constant worry is just normal. I don't want that to be what he learns from me. And I want him to see me try. I want him to see me build something. I want him to know that you can feel afraid and still move forward. If you're watching this and you feel stuck, overwhelmed, frozen by anxiety or depression, I want you to know you're not alone. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to wait until you feel ready. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is take one small step as if things can get better. Because they can. I'm still walking this path. I still have anxiety, but I'm choosing to take my power back, one action at a time. This painting is about becoming. It's about the journey from the old self to the new self. And it's about remembering to take the small steps needed to get there. You don't have to wait for anxiety to disappear before moving forward. Growth happens through small, intentional choices right where you are. If this piece resonates with you, I want you to have it. I've created a free digital download linked below. I want you to print it out and hang it somewhere special as a reminder of who you're becoming. Thanks for being here. I'll see you soon.